On this bio tour, this service tour that you're on, you're talking obviously a lot about your past and your experience. But by talking about the fact that you remember vividly, at least your first vivid memory was the beginning of World War II, you're also maybe subtly reminding voters of your age. And I want to just read you some numbers from a recent Wall Street Journal poll. 61% said that they would elect somebody over 70, but 71% said they would elect a woman, and 72% said a black. So it looks like voters are much more eager, or at least able to elect a black or a woman than somebody of your age.
Well, that's interesting because we are either tied or slightly ahead of both Senator Obama and Senator Clinton. So overall in the polls, I'm very satisfied where we are, particularly since the generic ballot has Republicans trailing Democrats rather badly. So I'm very happy with where we are. And I'm very happy to talk about the past and my values, but all of that is a prelude to the future. If you have experience and knowledge and background and judgment, that's what, and vision for the future, that's what the American people will, I believe, the factor that will decide whether they support me or not, and I'm very confident.
One more question on this. When you're asked about who your vice president would be, you say that there are two real roles for the vice president, and one is to check on the health of the president. And you joked a couple of weeks ago in Pennsylvania that that would be especially important in your case.
Sure.
What did you mean by that? And I know you don't want to talk about the process of picking a vice president, but in terms of your approach, do you, in all candor, straight talk, think about your age when you, and the fact that you were 71 would be 72, when you were deciding who would be a potential president?
No, and in all candor, I will continue to use humor. And if any commentator chooses to take a humorous remark and turn it into something serious, they are free to do that. But I will continue to use humor, and I think the American people like to have a little humor from time to time, and that was what that whole line was about.
Absolutely, but understanding that completely, in all seriousness, when you're approaching who you're picking for the vice president, do you think about your age as a factor?
And not particularly, no. I think about whether that person who I select would be most prepared to take my place, and that would be the key criteria.
Okay. One last thing, because you're talking about it here at Episcopal. You are making light, talking about humor, of your storied and the temper that you say you have. And in rereading some of your books to prepare for this bio tour, I noticed that it's a constant theme that you yourself talk about, even from the time you were a toddler, that you had a temper, and that it's maybe been a lifelong struggle to try to figure out how to contain that. A voter out there reads your books, listens to you, humor or not, about talking about your temper, and they say, do I want this guy with his finger on the button? What do you say?
Well, I say that everybody's life is a work in progress. I have a better and more impressive record of bipartisanship and working across the aisle and legislative solutions and leadership than anybody that's running against me by far. And those leadership qualities required an even temper. And those abilities to reach across the aisle and work with Democrats for the good of my constituents in the country are clear indications that that's a very, very minor thing as compared to my record of accomplishment. And my record of accomplishment required even, mature, and experienced judgment in order to achieve what I've achieved. And I'm confident that the American people will judge that as well, and I am confident that they'll look at my record and my vision, and that's and if they don't expect me to get angry when I see corruption in Washington, when I see wasting needlessly of their tax dollars, when I see people behaving badly, they expect me to get angry, and I will get angry, because I won't stand for corruption, and I won't stand for waste of their tax dollars, and I will demand that people serve their country first and the special interests second.
Senator, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Dana.
your time. Thank you.